Good afternoon, everyone. I've got Electric Evan in the car next to me. It is a wonderful autumn's day here in Sydney. It's 33 degrees, beautiful blue sky. We're driving a car that doesn't take any petrol. It's very quiet. It's a lovely day. We're just going for a drive, Evan and I. And today I just wanted to talk about what it was like for me when I was a boy and learning how to drive, and how different things will be for Evan when he learns to drive one day. So when I was a boy, we had to learn a lot of things about cars. People still do, I guess. But if you learn how to drive today, and when I was a boy, you've got to learn to turn the ignition on, make sure the brake is down, put the car into gear. Then you've also got to learn about pumping petrol into the car, how to open the petrol cap, lift the nozzle, push, learn how to pay, all those kind of small things. But one day, Evan, what do you think your driving experience will be like? Do you think you'll have to do all those things when you're 16, when you learn how to drive, in 8 years' time?
Well, I think it'll be a lot easier than back in the 90s and early 2000s, because in the future, in 8 years, there's a prediction that all the cars most of the cars in the world will be electric. So if I have enough money to buy an electric car, then I won't have to do all those things like turn the ignition on and make sure the brake is down, shift it into gear. And also how to pump petrol, how to open the cap, how to pay. All I really have to do when I need to charge is drive home, get the charger, plug it in, and then that's it.
That's true. See, when I was learning to drive, people were saying to me, you should learn how to drive a manual car, even though at the time there was actually more automatic cars. In fact, these days, I would say there are a lot more automatic cars than manual cars. Because it's a lot easier to drive an automatic car compared to a manual car. And I think that's going to be what's going to happen in 8 years' time and even beyond. There'll be more electric cars, but then people will say, well, you should learn how to drive an internal combustion engine car, just in case. And they're right, because you sometimes may need to drive a normal car.
Yeah.
But I think in 20-30 years' time, there'll be so many electric cars that people will just learn how to drive electric cars rather than...
With like no gears.
Yeah, correct, with no gears. I mean, they'll still be around, but I think there'll be more electric cars than gasoline or petrol-powered cars.
More.
Yeah.
Much more.
So,
I think 1 out of 10 petrol cars will exist in the future, in 2020 or 2030.
1 petrol car for every 9 electric cars? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big prediction. So what's going to happen to all the service stations in the world then?
Well, I think they'll get crushed down, and then they will be turned into Tesla or electric car service stations, so that the petrol ones, which I don't think will be around that long anymore, in about 10-20 years time, they'll be all gone. That's
true. Now see, people go to petrol stations these days to expect to pump a full tank in about 10-15 minutes, right?
But you can actually charge this overnight. You can leave it charging. You don't have to check on it every 5 minutes.
That's true. And even though electric cars take longer to charge at the moment, like the Tesla I'm driving will take about, even on a supercharger, will take at least an hour to fully charge the car. You don't actually need to fully charge a car if one day all the service stations become electric charging stations. All you need to do is charge enough just to get you home, so you can do the rest of the charge at home. In the city anyway. If you're driving on a road trip, that's a different story. But in the city, I think that's the purpose of those service electric charging stations one day, is that you might be running low if you don't have enough to get home, but just pump or charge enough, like take 15 minutes to charge like maybe 50 kilometers, and then you can drive that distance home and then do the rest of the charge at home. I think that's how it's going to work. Because people are expecting to pump or charge a full electric car tank charge in 15 minutes, which may be possible one day, but even if it's not, you don't have to do that full charge. Because you can't pump petrol at home, can you? At the moment,
No.
Which is why they have to pump at a petrol station.
combining all of them together, there's only about 500,000 of them in the world.
Well, that's an interesting point actually, because like those performance cars who race around a track for like Formula One or Daytona or yeah, like we're just spotting an ambulance there. Maybe somebody got injured playing sport. But just back on the topic of racing cars, so that's something that's going to have to be addressed for electric sporting cars, because currently like an F1 or racing car can quickly go into the pits and they can pump the petrol in like a few seconds, right? It's pretty
and
quick.
Change the tires in like under 5 seconds.
Pretty quick. Those pit changes are very quick. So maybe instead of like charging, because it's going to be ridiculous, you can't charge an electric car in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to find a way to like lift the battery out of the car quickly and put in a new battery. So I think that's the only way they can have electric sporting cars like that.
And they also have a racing series or championship called Formula E, which is the Formula, instead of Formula One, the Formula E, and they're electric.
We should have a look at that. It's probably very quiet, I bet.
But Formula E the cars have gears still.
Well, a lot of the racing cars, even now with Formula One, a lot of them are hybrid, right?
Yeah.
And hybrid's good because the electric part of the car will start the car, so that actually takes up the most energy in a petrol car, the starting of the car. Because if you change that to electric energy, the torque is a lot more, and it can actually get you faster, get you to what speed you need quicker. That's why the acceleration is so good in this car.
Yeah.
Which is why hybrid cars are also good on the road, because that takes up the most petrol, that initial starting of an engine.
Just like this old car 2 cars ahead of us.
That MG that just passed us.
No, that freeway.
Yeah, that's an MG, right?
I think so.
Looks like an MG.
I wonder how it got here.
But then one day, like when you're an old man, I'm past my age, not that old, the cars might be driving you.
Yeah. So like all of them will be driverless.
That's right.
Not just electric, but electric and driverless.
Imagine that.
And there's already a driverless Prius, but it's not that good. And the autopilot, Daddy still doesn't trust it.
No, I still don't trust autopilot. There's been too many crashes, people dying with autopilot, so I don't trust it just yet. Especially if I'm carrying you and Ion Ivy and Mummy Joy Rider in the car. Even by myself, I wouldn't want to drive it. It's too risky.
But on our road trip last year, we saw a Model X, and the lady who was driving it wasn't actually driving it. She was actually texting, and the car was driving itself.
She wasn't holding the wheel, was she?
No, she was holding a phone and typing.
That was our road trip to California, so she was on a Californian freeway.
Yeah.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, she was on the iPod.
Yeah, she was texting in a Model X. It was pretty cool.
And the police have no excuse to not arrest her. No excuse.
I'm not sure what the rules are in Australia, whether you're allowed to do that still. I think you still can't text regardless of whether it's an autopilot car or not.
It'll actually be like really cool if they change the rules in like a few years' time, and when more people have Teslas or driverless cars, you can actually text while you're relaxing.
That would be good, because then like I could read a book, or I can do other things on my computer while my car drives me, because we waste a lot of time in our cars currently. Especially if you're the driver, you can't do much. Like I can't use my phone, I can't use my computer. I have to sit and concentrate on the road.
It's really tiring.
It is tiring, yes. Especially if you're on a road trip. So one day, taxis and Ubers and other ride-sharing services will be using autonomous cars to drive us around. We might have cars that come to our door without a driver.
Oh,
That would be weird.
like trucks come to our doors,
Yeah.
and then nobody's, and then there's like an object thing in like the back of the trailer, and then it just boosts up the parcel, and then it like trick shots into the mailbox like. Whew.
Oh, that's a good idea, because yes, you're right. Postal vans and courier vans will be driverless as well. And inside the van there'll be like little forklifts that automatically lift your parcel out, like you said,
Beep, beep.
and then maybe put it on your front lawn or something.
or they can just trick shot it out.
Yeah. Well, what if it's fragile, like something that breaks? You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. Look at the forklift system if it's fragile.
Yeah.
But if it's not so fragile, like a magazine, you can just use a trick shot knife.
Yeah. So now we're in the harbour tunnel, that's why it's got a bit darker.
Yeah.
But if every car was autonomous or driverless, then we wouldn't have to keep that much of a distance between all the cars, because if it's all automated, then all the cars can actually travel a lot closer together. Because they can all talk to each other, and computer reaction time is a lot faster than human reaction time. That's why we leave a bigger braking distance between cars, because if I see the car in front of me brake, I can't instantly brake. It takes a little while for me to recognize that in my brain, and then neurons send images, signals to my foot to step on the brake. That takes a bit of time, whereas a computer can do it automatically.
Because it's a computer. It's not. It's always exact. It's
And
not a human way.
Yeah, and like at a traffic light, the cars can link together. It can all go at once together.
Yeah, that would be like all the cars sync together. That would be awesome.
Very good. I'm pretty sure I've seen this before in like movies, like those futuristic movies where cars drive themselves.
Sadly, not in the movie Cars 2 or Cars 3 by Pixar or Disney. They don't have driver's cars. They only have like NASCAR.
So we were just talking about racing sports and the future of racing sports with electric vehicles.
So just imagine a world, even in racing motorsport championships, where the world was just quiet and it was just all peaceful and no one had to worry about polluting the earth. And so just imagine if there was electric NASCAR, electric rallycross, electric Formula 1, and more Formula E, and less Formula 1.
It would be quiet, but then you can just put a sound to the car. Like the car could emit a noise that sounded like what it used to sound like.
Yeah.
So you could still hear that. But it's not actually making any noise from the engine, it's just augmented sound. Because I guess people go to these racing sports to hear that noise.
Yeah. But some people don't really have to go to hear their noise. Some people just go to watch their favorite driver winning.
That's true. So we're stuck in a bit of a traffic jam at the moment. Not too bad. But see, a traffic jam like this in a tunnel, it's potentially dangerous if there's no exhaust. I mean, there are exhaust stacks in the tunnel, but every car is emitting fumes and carbon dioxide, and
Especially cars that have more than one exhaust pipe.
So that's again, like if every car was an electric car, then you wouldn't have to spend so much money on exhaust stacks to get rid of the fumes, because there wouldn't be any fumes. Every car would be just quiet and clean. So at least on a local level, it's not emitting any carbon dioxide or nasty gases.
Especially in tunnels, because tunnels there are no like outlets and stuff. It's just closed. It's just a closed rectangle that cars drive in. So then the air will get absorbed into cars. Like if the windows are open, which it clearly says close windows at the start of most tunnels. But if they don't follow that rule and they leave their windows open, they can go to the human, and then the human can get very sick or die.
Very true.
And it's with electric cars. Then if they leave their windows open, then it won't be that much of a fuss, because then the human won't get sick, because none of the cars are polluting the carbon dioxide, and they don't have exhaust. It's just clean, pure air.
So true.
But how nice it would be when every car on the road would just be
Electric.
so nice and peaceful, and the world would be as quiet as a mouse.
well, that's it for today, our drive with Electric Evan. Thank you very much for watching Ludicrous Feed, and thank you to all our subscribers so far.
We've got nearly 50.
Yeah, we've got 45, so we're getting there. And wherever you are in this world, I hope you're having a good 8 day as we are here in Sydney. Hope the weather is as good as it is here. Blue sky, 30 degrees, 35 now. Wow, it's getting hotter.
Pretty hot.
Enjoy your day, and as always,
Happy charging.
happy charging.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Hey, thanks for watching, and thank you for helping us to bring the electric vehicle revolution to Australia. If you've enjoyed our videos, please take a moment to hit subscribe. We would really appreciate it. If you're close to buying a brand new Tesla, then lucky you. Use one of our promo codes on screen to unlock special goodies from Tesla. Happy charging!